Eager and excited Sox fans are not going to let a cold and wet U.S. Cellular Field spoil a 3-1 road trip to begin the 2016 season. It's a sellout, standing room only affair as fans look to get their first in-person look at some of the new off-season additions to Robin Ventura's roster. The home opener is here as the Sox open up a 3-game series with the tough Cleveland Indians. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball as Jose Abreu, Todd Frazier, Jimmy Rollins, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Terry Francona's Cleveland Indians. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you home opening day 2016. As you know, the Sox coming off opening up the season out in Oakland with that 4-game series where we took 3 out of 4. And, you know, one of the things that we thought was going to be a strength, maybe the strength of this ball club this season, with the starting pitching in Oakland. They sure look good.
We certainly saw it with Chris Sale leading the parade. And Chris Sale threw the ball as you would expect he would throw the ball. And we'll take a look. Sale was absolutely brilliant. Won the ball game and then turned it over to Jose Quintana for the second leg of the 4-game series. Only see Carlos Rodon go out there, throw the ball exceptionally well. And Matt Latos, 1 hit, 6 innings. A 2.45 ERA for the starters, but they couldn't have done it without Adam Eaton. 9 hits in 16 at-bats, scored a couple of runs, on-base percentage of .611. Adam Eaton was hitting everything in sight, and you have to go back a long way in Sox history to see a player get multiple hits in 4 straight games to start the season.
Well, the pitching matchup today is a young, hard-throwing right-hander for them and a veteran southpaw for us.
Danny Salazar does throw hard. His ERA against our Sox is 3.5. Johnny Danks at home has really struggled with the Indians, but he says he is a cold-weather pitcher. He loves it. He's going to wear short sleeves. And hopefully today, without Michael Brantley, the Indians won't be the normal Indians. They're a good team, but the Sox are hot.
Well, you know, early division wins are at a premium in what should be a very competitive Central race. It's a home opener, so sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
On CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field on a very chilly day, and the wind is very much a factor. And earlier, we saw some snow flurries. Hopefully, they will not be hanging around too long, as you see what it looked like a bit earlier at that time. Looked like they might push the game back a bit, but that's not to be. They took the tarp off the field. Johnny Danks warmed up in the bullpen. He seems to be ready to go, and the fans, and there's a lot of them here today, anxious to see baseball, anxious to see their 3-1 White Sox take on the Indians, minus Michael Brantley. So the umpires meeting at home plate. And before the game, music artist Chance the Rapper threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Chance, who grew up on the south side of Chicago at 79th and Princeton, became the first independent recording artist to perform on Saturday Night Live in December of 2015 when he debuted his song, Somewhere in Paradise. He's collaborated with Kanye West, Justin Bieber, and Madonna, as well as earning headlining slots at Pitchfork and Lollapalooza. Let's take a look at Michael Brantley and the absence and what he means to this team. He's on the 15-day DL. He has his surgically repaired shoulder still not ready to go yet. And you look at what he did last year, and it was outstanding. He's a very quiet leader of this team, but he hit .310, 45 doubles leading the major leagues. You can see he doesn't hit the ball out of the park quite as much. He did drive in 84 with an OPS of 859. And Terry Francona, when I talked with him before the game, he told me that they certainly do miss Brantley. They realize he will be back. They're expecting him to come back in the middle of the month, although there is no set date for his return. But think about the Sox. If they lost Abreu, that's essentially what Brantley means to the Cleveland Indians. And they have to get him back in the middle of that lineup to balance it out. They've got some new faces, but his bat is sorely missed, as well as his defense. And here's the new faces, Mike Napoli, who already has a home run, Juan Uribe, very familiar to Sox fans, and Marlon Byrd, who we'll see in the game today. And this is a guy with a lifetime .293 batting average in the American League, so he knows the league. He's done very well in it. The Indians are pretty happy to have him. There you see Mike Napoli. You might remember him with both the Angels and notably the Red Sox. He can hit the ball out of the park, does so consistently, and the Indians figured that they're going to be a lot better team with the experience and the production of Mike Napoli. Robin Ventura, the fifth manager in White Sox history with 300 wins. He's trying to get that above 500. He's going to be able to do that, if not this year, certainly next year. This is a team with a whole lot of talent. They showed a lot of it in Oakland. He's hoping that they show more of it today. The players don't really mind the weather all that much, although I've always felt when the temperatures get down to as low as the temperatures will be today, it's very much to the pitcher's advantage. Johnny Danks is hoping the same thing and said that he really enjoys this kind of weather. He said he's going out there in short sleeves. We will see. And he hopes to get everything over the plate, but as Don Cooper said about him before the game, he wants him to make the most of the inside part of the plate, especially to the right-handers. Left-handers, he's going to throw a straight change, which not many left-handers do to lefties, but John's got a good curveball to go with it. He's pretty anxious to get out there, and I know that the fans are anxious to see their new look 2016 White Sox after coming off a great series in Oakland, and hopefully more the same in this first series against the Indians, and then it's on to another road trip. So the Sox take the field. And let's take a look at how Terry Francona is going to line up his Cleveland Indians. Rajay Davis leading it off, playing center field. Then it's the hometown boy, Jason Kipnis, playing second. Francisco Lindor hitting third. The switch hitter is just a terrific young player with Mike Napoli in the cleanup spot. Carlos Santana going to DH most of this year with Yan Gomes, Marlon Byrd, Juan Uribe, and Jose Ramirez, who's playing left field. The defense. Orioles. And Al Robin is going to line them up behind Johnny Danks, Melky Cabrera in left, Austin Jackson in center. Adam Eaton is in right field today. He's done a great job in right field since making the switch. Todd Frazier at third. Jimmy Rollins, who had a very good series in Oakland, is at short. Brett Lawrie at second. And Jose Abreu, who's hit Salazar very well, he's at first base. Alex Avila gets the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Johnny Danks. Last year, not the best of years for him, but he figures a bounce back is in order. By and large, the home runs hurt him last year, but he did pick up a whole lot of innings, and he's hoping to keep that changeup away from the right-hand hitters and throw that good cutter inside on their hands. The umpires for the game this afternoon: Todd Tischner behind the plate, Bill Miller, the crew chief, is at first, Tony Randazzo is at second, and Brian Knight is at third. So the Indians come into this one, and they're 1-1. The Sox come in at 3-1. The Tigers are now 3-0 as they shut out the Yankees today 4-0. And career strikeouts: Johnny Danks is on the list. Billy Pierce on top of Ed Walsh, Red Faber, Mark Burley, Wilbur Wood, Gary Peters, and then it is Johnny Danks. So they've thrown the ball around the infield, and on this very cool, windy day, that means we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to opening day, home opening day 2016 here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. So here's Rajay Davis. Rajay, last year with the Tigers, hit .258, 8 homers and drove in 30 in the first pitch of the ball game. Taken for a strike. And here at U.S. Cellular Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gap center, 400 straightaway center. And very quickly the count, 0-2. Did not bite at that one.
Rajay's hit Johnny Danks pretty well, hitting .286 against him.
Rajay has hit everybody on our staff well.
Yeah. Doesn't matter where he plays.
No, and what uniform he has on. He's been a really good player against our Sox. Well, back last year, these two teams met 19 times, Sox winning 10 of them. Of course, that was coming after a couple of seasons where we didn't have very good luck against Cleveland.
Now, the 2-17 year wasn't particularly pleasant.
Outfield around to the right. Bit of a gap out there in left center. Frazier backing off the line at third. Abreu well off the line at first. He gone.
This one right down the middle. John wanted to throw it inside. That ball tailed back over the plate. Whatever it was, it fooled Davis, and he is a strikeout victim.
Well, you've done that before.
Absolutely. You get away with one and say thank you.
You missed your spot by 6 or 8 inches, and meanwhile he took it.
Really? You surprise him with something down the middle.
Here's Kipnis of Northbrook. Jason. He's had good success against Johnny. 10 for 32. Jason Most. When he's healthy, he has good success against everybody.
In this ballpark, for whatever reason, he's had great luck against just about every one of the Sox pitchers.
He's a good player. He's changed his batting style for the first 2 pitches. Not laying it off like he was. There it is. Okay, now, but not as long. Gets it backed up there, and there's a base hit into center field.
Well, there is no doubt if Jason Kipnis could play in this park 81 games, he probably would make the Hall of Fame, because for whatever reason in this ballpark, he just crushes the ball. And the first at bat, no exception. So now you have to watch a base stealer, one of the few the Indians have on this team at this point.
And with all the great young shortstops coming into the game, here's another one right here, Francisco Lindor. What a player he is, and what a player he's going to be. Last year hit .313, 12 homers, knocked in 51 out of Montverde Academy. Right outside of Claremont and a little north of Orlando. Change way out in front.
That's a good changeup, and this one sunk low and away. That's exactly where Johnny wants to throw each and every one of those.
That'll get your wheels turning more so than a 100-mile-an-hour fastball or a biting slider. That's the worst 5 words you can tell a hitter in the major leagues. You can tell him he's got a great fastball, doesn't bother him. You can tell him he's got a great curveball, doesn't bother him, because if he gets it over, you're going to go for 4 anyway. Tell him he's got a great slider, you're not going to do anything with that either. But if you tell him he's got a great changeup, now his wheels start changing.
It's tough to wait back long enough if your delivery and arm velocity is the same.
And there's a base hit right back through the middle. So 1 out, 2 on.
This ball's up a little higher than John would have wanted. It's down the middle of the plate, and Lindor, who's a very strong hitter from both sides of the plate, a better hitter in the major leagues than he ever was in the minor leagues. A 279 hitter in the minor leagues, and he's going to be a 300 hitter consistently up here.
He's going to be one of the great players in the game, period. Either league. You got Correa over there with Houston in this league. Oh, we've got some tremendous young shortstops in the American League. Napoli, he's dangerous. 34-year-old veteran, 253 career hitter with 205 home runs.
Johnny's fanned him 14 times in 30 at bats. He also is a very inviting double play target.
Outfield, for the most part, straight up. Just off the outside corner.
Ideally, you wouldn't mind staying there and hope he rolls over on one. John's much more comfortable throwing the ball inside, and we'll see what Alex wants as far as this pitch is concerned. The wind blowing straight out if you trust the flags, but because it swirls here at US Cellular Field, you can't really tell what it's going to do until we see a few more fly balls. But that was a perfect pitch, and John didn't get it. I think he's a little disappointed with the call of Todd Kishner, who will be very disappointed when he sees the location of this one.
Well, we had a terrific series umpiring out in Oakland. Even the game we lost, it was terrific. But there's a big pitch to miss right off the bat. So here's Santana, the birthday boy today. 30 years old. Last year, 19 homers, 85 knocked in.
He's another guy who will ground into a whole lot of double plays, and this year probably be the first year where he will be used most of the time as a designated hitter.
Now, if you're Carlos Santana, you're talking about a catbird seat. This is it. 2-0, bases loaded. Just 1 out.
That time he gave him one, that ball was down, but John will certainly take it. As you can see, just barely caught the middle of the knee. That was a good pitch. This one had the whole strike zone, and against Johnny Danks, Carlos Santana just 171.
Well, here's where he's got to be able to throw his changeup. In a 2-2 or a 3-2. Bad decision. And that's going to put 2 on the board.
Avila was thinking about tossing behind him, but Johnny Danks couldn't get to the plate near in time. So you take the one out, you give up the 1 run, and you move on to the next guy. But instead, Alex looks back. John can't get there, and by the time he does throw, he throws right into the path of Santana. And that is costly.
Imagine there'll be a fielder's choice RBI E2.
And that is exactly what Bob Rosenberg said. So Bob is 1 for 1 this year.
Yan Gomes. Now the infield. Rollins halfway at short. The rest of them are in.
When Gomes made his debut, he became the first Brazilian player to play in the major leagues. That was back on May 17th of 2012.
Still amazes me that hardly any clubs, when they're on the road, have the starting pitchers come in before the end of the first inning. So he's going to tag, and it's 3-0. Been a lengthy top of the first. Salazar sitting in there. It's amazing.
Well, you get to ask the umpire to give you as many throws as possible, but you're still sitting around a long time between your last warm-up and when you go out there to pitch, and hopefully it will disturb the youngster a bit.
Marlon Byrd. Marlon has been a good, solid performer in his career. 275 hitter. Around it.
So in this inning, Santana picks up his 4th run batted in, and Gomes picks up his 2nd.
And of the 3 thus far runs up there, 2 of them are gifts.
Last 3 years consecutively, Marlon Byrd has hit at least 20 home runs.
Well, we give them a couple. They scored 3, and we trail it 3-0.
The red-hot Adam Eaton leading it off, and it's Jimmy Rollins, Jose Abreu, who's had good luck against Salazar. For Todd Frazier, Melky Cabrera, Avisail Garcia, Brett Lowry, along with Alex Avila and Austin Jackson rounding it out. The defense and how they will line up behind Danny Salazar. It's Ramirez, Davis, and Bird in the outfield with Uribe, Lindor, Kipnis, and Napoli in the infield. Yan Gomes behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Danny Salazar. Last year, 14-10, his ERA below 3.5. As you can see, 195 strikeouts in 185 innings. His fastball up seems to take off. He can be overpowering.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Adam Eaton takes ball one. Oh, what a series he had. Nope. 9 for 16. That's the most I can remember since 1999. And that DJ Darren Jackson did it in 3 games. Had 9 hits in 3 games. Then got benched for the next 2. Great move. Don't help him out. 3-1.
Ramirez in left field is a shortstop by trade, and so although he is a jack of all trades and can move around, left field not his best position.
Full count. He's got a 26 game on base streak going for him, where his on base percentage is .467.
And you love the fact that this will be at the very least a 7-pitch at bat. Love to get into that bullpen as early as you can against a hard throwing youngster.
All right, let's check out our picks to click right now. Mangio, our director of the crew. Well, they want Jimmy Rollins. Steve's going Brett Lowry and George Jacobs. If he's not the biggest Sox fan, he certainly is in the top 2 or 3. George Jacobs, Windy City Limos. There he is. What a Sox fan he is. We're going to go with Adam Eaton. Jimmy Rollins, 2 for 12 with a homer, and that homer was a big one. Coming in the top of the 9th inning in game 2 of that 4-game set at the Coliseum. Oh, Sean Doolittle. And we won in game 5-4. Jimmy had a lot of family, friends, as he is an Oakland native.
Tough to catch up to 96 upstairs. And Salazar has a curve and a slider and a straight change, which he uses infrequently but very well. He will throw that change up with 2 strikes a lot. 37.6% of the time, which is second among all starters who qualify.
Boy, what a beautiful new setup. Scoreboards we've got here.
Tyler Saladino sporting that look. They'll be giving those away tomorrow. He's taking advantage of an early hat.
Shifts on. And Lindor's got him. What a difference. What a difference. And again, what a difference. See what the scores are now.
I was going to say, not only colorful, but clearly legible.
First pitch strike to Abreu. It was a 4 for 11 off Salazar, and with 4 hits, 2 of them stayed in the park.
Last year, another great year for Jose, and he's hit Salazar well. We got rained out into Danny Salazar. He was supposed to go yesterday, but for the rain. That means that Corey Kluber is not going to pitch in this series. Try to heat him upstairs with a fastball. Jose was able to check his swing. Trying to keep it alive for Todd Frazier, who's in the on-deck circle.
Full count. A 1-2-3 inning, couple of strikeouts, and after one is 3-0 bad guys.
Hayes from CSNChicago.com. And what do you have for us today, Dan?
Well, there was a lot of discussion pregame about the chemistry again. It's been a hot topic these 4 days, and I know you guys have probably noticed it in that dugout. Guys are lively. It's way more of a friendly unit than it was last year, and guys are upbeat. Yesterday Tyler Saladino, I asked him how he stays, kind of mentally sharp, basically after not playing for 3 days, and he said, it's really easy to stay there in the dugout and be engaged. I mean, we're talking the whole time, we're cheering for each other. And Robin Ventura today said, "Have you met Brett Lowry?" And that's the kind of focus right now, is they like working with each other. Saladino said, "I want to be here every day."
First pitch strike to old friend Juan Uribe. 37 years old, still playing and still producing. Boy, he was one of the best light guys we've had here in the last 20 years. Yeah, the attitude, that was even from afar. Dan, down in Orlando, I was watching my iPad and stuff and following your stuff, following all the guys, on the internet. And that kept coming out. The attitude of the ball club, the chemistry of the ball club, the energy of the ball club. And, of course, Brett Lawrie being being right at the front of the pack.
And Todd Frazier commented on it today. He said, look, we know this is a small sample size. It's 4 games, but we like where we're at. And so there's some perspective, but they got the good start they were looking for.
Well, one of the things about it, when you get a veteran like that, the mouth lies, the eyes don't. We saw it. You saw it. Steve saw it. I saw it from Orlando. So if all of us are picking up on it, you got to say, wait a minute, what happened? What was last year? What the year before? What a difference.
Yeah, and Rick Hahn said it today. He said he picked up on it immediately from the start. Felt like it was the same team the whole way through spring training, from March 8th to March 28th. He wouldn't have noticed anything going on just because how this was the same unified group the whole way.
Well, we thought, as we talked about in our opener, we thought pitching might be the strength of this ball club this year, and certainly in Oakland it showed it's got a chance to be. But also we saw some continuation hitting in that 9th inning out there. We hadn't seen much of that in the past couple of years. We saw guys jumping out of that dugout, especially when Rollins hit it, and then when Uribe hit it, and all the excitement going on. And this game is a lot easier to play well in and win some ball games when you're having fun.
And some of the guys have admitted that they were probably trying a little hard in these first couple of days. You've seen a lot of Jose Abreu extend that swing outside the zone a little bit, but Robin Ventura has not been at all worried about that stuff. And
that's into left center field. And that young guy right there, boy, he just swings the bat against everybody, and especially against us.
A ringing double for Ramirez. And Dan, thank you very much for the info. We'll take another look at the double. Just hits it perfectly in between Cabrera and Jackson. And he's on second base. You can follow White Sox insider Dan Hayes all season long on CSNChicago.com. Presented by The Great Escape. Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape.
Rajai Davis struck out. Called out on one right down the middle. Yeah, that Jose Ramirez can swing that bat. That ball hit deep in the right center field. And it is 4-0 on the triple by Davis.
Rajai Davis has always done against our Sox. He drives in a big run. His first run batted in, and that's a changeup that stays up. A real danger spot for Johnny Danks. And Davis hits a rocket. The wind is blowing out today, so it took it over the head of Jackson, and then Davis was off to the races.
Gibness had a line drive single in the center field. Infield in. One in, one out. 1-1 to count. That's popped up. Austin getting in shape. Rajai, here he comes. And It's 5-0.
Gibnus driving in his second run of the year. So a base hit, a run scored, now a run driven in. And just like that, it is a very big early Cleveland lead. That's the second sacrifice fly in as many innings.
Here's Lindor. He singles sharply up the middle.
Lindor born in Puerto Rico, but when it became clear that he was going to be quite a player, that's when they moved over to the United States. That was at age 12, so his folks could see that he could really play.
Well, they got him into a terrific program. I mentioned Montverde Academy. In fact, they just played for the National High School Basketball Championship. They lost, but they won it a couple of times. They're just fantastic sports programs there at Montverde Academy. And they get him, but a couple of more across the plate. He played an inning and a half, not good.
To Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And a reminder, join CS in Chicago this Monday for a Coors Light basketball viewing party at Rockies in Hoffman Estates. That's Rockies in Hoffman Estates. So watch Chicago take on New Orleans and get free CSN giveaways and enjoy ice cold Coors Light. All right, let's get some of that chemistry going. Get some of that energy going here. We trail it 5-0. It'll be Frazier, Cabrera, and Avi. Watch out.
Chemistry is going to be a whole lot better with a few runs, especially off the guy who threw the ball so very well last year in Danny Salazar. His fastball many times when he throws it away to the right-hand hitter almost looks like a cutter.
Lindor, he's good.
up the middle, and Lindor's got good range, a very strong arm, has some problems getting it out of the glove, but the Indians believe that their young third baseman in the minor leagues, Giovanni Urshela, who we saw last year along with Lindor, is going to give them one of the best left sides in the business. Urshela just needs more at-bats. They felt he was better suited to get them in the minor leagues, probably for 2/3 of a year or so, and then they're going to be dynamite on the left side.
Well, Jose Ramirez, when he played against us at shortstop, he looked good out there, but he's not going to go there anymore.
No, he looks good just about everywhere.
You know the count.
Be a very good time to draw a walk and the first base runner of the day. And there it is. Customize your own Pick 7 or Pick 14 season flex plan today. The Pick 7 and Pick 14 plans feature savings off individual game tickets. For tickets or more information, visit whitesox.com or call 312-674-1000.
Here's Avi. Avi has faced Salazar 11 times, has 3 hits, 1 of them left the premises. Outfield shading him to the right. Yeah, Steve just touched on it. If you make him get the ball down, you got a much better chance of being dangerous against him rather than chasing that high heater.
He's got some good life on high fastballs, and Yan Gomes going out there with 5 straight bad ones. He wants to make sure that his young right-hander doesn't fall into a pattern and all of a sudden see this game start to get away from him.
Well, that's what you used to say, and they still do, and they will 100 years from now. Make the hard throwers get it down and make the soft tossers get it up.
When a guy's struggling with his control, last thing you want to do is help him out, and that fastball was up and out of the strike zone.
Well, the one thing about that, especially with Latin players, we touched on it yesterday. They learn how to play the game a different way than our American kids do here in America. They swing at high fastballs. They go out there and they have fun as far as showing their talents off in maybe a way that's not condoned by a lot of people here in the United States. But the culture is changing. Now, for Latin guys to swing at high fastballs, if they're guaranteed to lay off the breaking ball in the dirt, it's okay. But they're not guaranteed to lay off the breaking ball in the dirt.
If you get a nose-to-toe strike zone, you're going to have some problems. And so far, you see 4 pitches, they've all been out of the zone, and yet it's just a 2-2 count. That was a very hittable fastball at 97, fouled straight back. As you can see, it had a good part of the plate, and it was probably just a bit above belt high. Indians picked by many to make a run at it with Kansas City. A lot of people felt that they had good enough pitching and the additions to their offense would enable them to score some runs. That's, of course, with Michael Brantley.
Well, what amazes me now, the count goes full, is it? I don't recall as many teams being picked to win this division. I've seen 4 of them picked.
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows quite where to place most of these teams.
And nobody picked. I haven't seen Minnesota picked at the top. They're the only team of the 5 that's been left out of people picking to win the division. So back-to-back walks, and yet Minnesota finished second last.
Minnesota's got a good offense. The real problem spot for them is starting pitching, but if they can get some of that with their young hitters, they're going to be a pretty tough team to contend with.
Yeah, they're going to put some points on the board. So here's Brent Lawrie. Yeah, we were picked to win it. Detroit's been picked to win it. Cleveland's been picked to win it. Of course, Kansas City, in my thinking, is still, until you dethrone them, they're the favorites.
Well, what I've seen from just about every prognosticator is they will have picked most every team to finish first, except for Minnesota, as you say. Just about the same amount will pick just about every team to finish last, except for Kansas City.
Except for Kansas City. Right.
Very hittable first ball fastball. Brent Lawrie takes a good cut, fouls it back.
He's seen Salazar 8 times, has 1 hit. Here you go.
Well, Yan Gomes, real quick delivery, very bad base running on the part of Avi. He took a decent secondary lead, and he was out by plenty. A throw right on the money. Napoli, a former catcher, there to make the tag, and that's on usually on a 1-strike pitch. First baseman will give the signal.
Yeah, Napoli gave the sign for that.
First baseman gives a signal and then goes easy from there. That is a real good play. We saw it. We saw the Sox use it in spring training as they go behind the runner with runners at first and second.
Two out and the 2-2 pitch. So we get a couple of walks and can't do anything with it. Get a man picked off. Trailing 5-0. T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB TV Premium. So go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network.
Down 5 early in this one. You can ill afford any more because Danny Salazar last year, one of the toughest pitchers in the American League to hit against. Opponents hit just .226 against him. That was 5th lowest in the American League, and he's already got a 5-run lead.
Napoli, Santana, and Gomes. There's a strike.
That ball hit awfully hard, but exactly what John wanted. Get the changeup. On the inner portion, the only thing Napoli can do with it is yank it well foul.
Two and two.
Napoli had 30 home runs, and he moved from the Angels to Texas. That was 2011. When he hit 30, drove in 75.
That ball hit hard into right field. We got a man there. One out.
Johnny Danks among active pitchers with one team and the starts. You can see King Felix, Verlander, Kane, Jared Weaver, and then Johnny Danks, one ahead of Clayton Kershaw. Well, Danks has been around a long time on this ball club, the most tenured of the Sox.
Here's Santana. He had the bases loaded last time he came to the plate. Hit a little nubber. Out in front of the plate, Johnny Danks comes into home to cover. Alex Avila went out, looked back. Danks couldn't get there. Then Alex threw it wildly to first. And 3 runs across the plate.
Santana last year walked 108 times. So he was very selective. He's the only player in the last 5 seasons to have at least 90 walks. And to go with that, he drove in 85 runs with 19 homers. He came out of the Dodgers organization. You might remember a third baseman by the name of Casey Blake. Dodgers were trying to get over the hump, trying to make the playoffs. Casey Blake going to the Dodgers, and they traded him a piece of tomorrow, which was Carlos Santana, who's caught, played third, played first, and now mostly a DH.
That's off towards the end of the bat. 2 down.
Had a chance to talk with Terry Francona before the game. He's a fine manager, always has been, in his 17th year of managing. He began professional baseball as a player in 1980, so he's been around a long time. Highly respected skipper in both leagues by just about everybody who's ever run into him.
High, soft into right field, and that's just foul. Well, he also has managed one of our favorites here. Played in Chicago, but didn't play baseball. Played basketball. Terry managed him in baseball.
Yeah, managed him at Double-A Birmingham.
At Birmingham. Michael Jordan. That ball is ripped. Yan Gomes has a sacrifice fly.
Kind of surprising, but with a 1-strike count, Brett Lawrie moved from a normal second base position to now an exaggerated shift with 3 players on the left side of the infield.
Yeah, I played against Francona's dad, Tito.
He was the original Tito. First baseman for the Tribe.
Left-handed hitter, first baseman, and I want to tell you what, he could absolutely tear you off first base with some line shot drives. High pop up. Melky makes the catch. So that's a 1-2-3 inning. Johnny needed that, but we still trail it 5-0.
To this weekend's home opener at U.S. Cellular Field with the Bite Sox food truck. It made 4 stops in downtown Chicago, so the fans got to enjoy all beef hot dogs, bratwurst, bacon on a stick, ballpark nachos, and in-shell peanuts, all served from the Sox branded food truck. And they did eat something very healthy also, corn. So free food rolling around town, not a bad idea.
It'll be Avila, Jackson, then back to the top of the order with Adam Eaton. Alex. Faced Salazar 8 times, has 2 hits.
Now it's a little tough visibility-wise for the hitters as Denny Salazar is in the sunshine. The hitter immersed in the shadows as you play at 3 o'clock. Visibility gets tough right about now.
5 runs, 4 hits, no errors for them. No runs, no hits, and 1 big error for us.
.40 43 degrees now. But before the game, this is what blew through. And the fans wondering if they would play this one. Indeed, we are playing it.
Yeah, that didn't last but about 10-15 minutes. Alex thought that one was off the plate. And a full count.
No base hits yet, but a couple of walks from Salazar, and the pitches are starting to pile up. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks in 2 innings.
And there is ball 4, so the leadoff walk.
Speaking of food, here's a couple of new featured items here at the ballpark. Tater tacos. Tater tots topped with nacho cheese and jalapenos. Hooters buffalo chicken sandwich on a toasted brioche bun with a choice of 3 different sauces. And Beggar's Pizza is serving different menu options, including Italian beef pizza, toasted caprese raviolis, chicken parmesan sandwiches, cheesy breadsticks, and deep dish chocolate cookies.
All that coming on top of our food already being voted #1 in Major League Baseball.
Food here at the ballpark is wonderful. And the food served to us by Roy Rivas, equally as good. Bobby Bertucci will occasionally bring something up, which is excellent.
Bobby, I think that's a hint.
It's a little late
Very
now,
subtle hint from the senator over
Bobby,
here.
remember that. There's the tater tots. Little cheese on there. I can use more jalapenos. The hotter the better for me. Then I'll be out the next couple of games. Boy, will it be good going down. So Gomes to the mound as Salazar struggling with his control, and if he doesn't right the ship here, we're going to see a fine pitching coach, Mickey Callaway, from the Tribe.
Got that in on him. 1 out. So here's Adam Eaton. Adam struck out leading off the bottom of the first.
Last year, 10 times Indians pitcher carried a no-hitter through 5 innings last year. So they're no stranger to this.
Jacks it up, takes first pitch strike.
That's 50 pitches already for Salazar. One of the reasons why he didn't go quite as deep into ball games last year as they would have liked him to is a lot of strikeouts and a few walks sprinkled in. Really raises the pitch total. Two years ago, Denny Salazar struck out 10 men in 3 2/3 innings against our Sox. But that's all he lasted, was 3 2/3. Big gap in right center field if Adam can get around on one. Davis, as you can see, shading him over into left center. And the wind blowing straight out.
Good job by Gomes. Keep it in front of him.
Adam Eaton with multiple hits in his first 4 games. Have to go back since 1913 to see Shoeless Joe Jackson, Jim Busby in 51, Nellie Fox in 55, and Adam Eaton looking for the first hit of the ball game here today. A good time for him. And most likely anybody but Alex, he's not going to take off. That ball, a slider in the dirt, scooted well away from Gomes. But unless you're off with the pitch, you can't go, and it's hard to judge how far this ball is going to roll. Rather than run into an out, he stays there. Gomes pretty good at blocking low pitches.
Another souvenir, this time left side. Can have some extended at-bats.
This is the 9th pitch of this at-bat. And a 7-pitch at-bat the first time up. Pitch number 57 on the way.
Those are guys that you love to hit behind. Two down.
4th strikeout. High fastball. We talked about the life on that high fastball. Seems to explode when it's upstairs. And it's the 2nd time that Adam has gone down on strikes.
So here's Jimmy Rollins, grounded out. Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, who was on the first base side of second. Check him up. Puts it on him, and that'll retire the side. So we go quietly after the leadoff walk, and we trail it by 5. 2016's first taping of Beer Money, the trivia show that tests your sports knowledge in exchange for cash. Taping starts Tuesday, April 12th at 5:30 at Pinheads in Yorkville. That's Pinheads in Yorkville. Beer Money presented by Coors Light. Lower third of their order, Bird, Uribe, and Ramirez. Ball strike.
Terry Francona said he has had to mix and match in that outfield with Brantley down after his surgically repaired right shoulder didn't respond. Or rather, didn't respond probably isn't the case, because they targeted him originally for late April. They feel that he's a little ahead of the pace, but they don't expect him back before mid-April, and that's a loss for these Indians.
Well, Lindor is the most talented guy on the club, but Brantley is the leader offensively on that ball club.
I talked to Jerry Sands before the game, and Jerry played with the Indians last year. He now is with our Sox. He was talking about the effect of Brantley on that team.
He gone.
Jerry said that he wasn't a vocal leader, but he led by example, going out there every day. He said it didn't matter right or left-handers, didn't matter what the conditions, but you could count on Brantley to give you a Gold Glove caliber outfield wherever they put him, and just hit the tough pitchers. And you've been talking about that for a long time. Guys who make their living on the fourth and fifth starter, as opposed to guys who hit the 1s, 2s, and 3s. Brantley's one of those 1, 2s, and 3 guys.
Oh, no question. You know, he's been one of my joys, so to speak, from a baseball standpoint, purely. I didn't like the way he beat us a lot of games, but from just watching him develop in the last 10, 15 years, it was really terrific to watch him grow into being the player that he is now. And you knew that he had a chance to do it, which you know that a lot of guys have a chance to do it, but the majority of them don't get there. He got there.
Just seemed to get better with each and every year.
Yeah,
and
just growing on a steady path.
The work ethic is essential. He does have that.
Yeah, it's amazing how many guys have spent a long time and made a lot of money in the big leagues by hitting those fourth and fifth starters.
Hey, look, the numbers are there, but your teammates are the ones that know when you're facing the 1s and 2s from the other club. They know the guys that will come through with big hits against the tougher guys around.
Yeah, those. Well, the game, the culture has changed a bit today because of the bullpens. In my time zone, you still had that 20-game winner out there as a rule in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. So you'd already seen him 3 times, and that's tough foul. So the 4th time you come up there in the 8th or 9th inning, you were more dangerous in that at bat than any other. So you had some guys that were really good at that. Today, you only get a couple of pops at that starter as a rule, maybe 3. And then here you come. Here comes 97, 98. Here comes 98, 99 in the 8th. And here comes 98 to 102 in the 9th.
With exploding sliders. Like Nate Jones.
Yeah, right.
It possesses.
With a former teammate of mine in Kansas City last year. And he said, Hawkey, he said, I watched on the air. He said, you're talking about this. It's harder to hit today than it was when we played. Explain that to me. He said, all those good pitchers we faced. I said, it's very easy to explain. I said, we saw those guys 3 or 4 times in the game. I said, you got a Cume average fastball in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning of right around 100, and from different angles.
And both right and left-handers mostly. So we'll take a look at the pitches for Johnny Dankson. Fastball less than half the time. Changeup almost 40% of the time. Not many cutters, not many curveballs today, and he's at 76 pitch mark right now.
Well, you just hit on a real good point there, Stoney, is the fact that I'm just sitting here thinking, since you mentioned and framed it that way, I can't think of one 100-mile-an-hour left-handed reliever when I play. Not one.
So now you have Aroldis Chapman.
That's what I'm saying.
Who's 103.
Yeah, and you got some other guys, left-handers, who are throwing close to 100. Or let's put it this way, above 97, right? I can't think of one when I play. Adam Eaton. Nice inning. And that is 8 in a row retired by Dank.
At U.S. Cellular Field when the White Sox face the Texas Rangers on Saturday, April 23rd. First 20,000 fans will receive a Jose Abreu plush bleacher creature presented by Total Performance Engine Oils. Visit whitesox.com to purchase your tickets today. And remember, a plush bleacher creature.
Well, you know, talking about those left-handed relievers, that you just tickled my memory bank right there as far as, you know, you think about left-handed relievers. First guy that pops into my mind, you know, was Dan Plesac, because he had 20 years, so to speak, of, you know, great relief work. And Danny had a great slider.
That was his pitch.
Yeah. You had, that's a good call from the truck, Mike. You had Billy Wagner, who was a hard-throwing left-hander reliever, little guy.
He threw 100.
Yeah, he could get up there at 100.
100.
But I didn't see him with my bat.
Not your era.
No, not my era. Jesse Orozco was a terrific reliever, but he was a finesse type. You know, Sparky Lau was a finesse type with a terrific slider. But that 100-mile-an-hour fastball just was not there from left-handed relievers. Franco had good stuff, but not anywhere close to 100.
The time he threw that fastball way in on the hands of Abreu, and Jose wasn't able to get those hands out, so a little tapper back up the middle leads it off.
Yeah. Here's Todd. Yeah, that bullpen culture has just absolutely turned this game around to make it 6-inning games. If a manager can have a bullpen that he can play 6-inning games, he's probably going to, you know, be well over 500, maybe go to postseason.
Well, you're going to get those 8th and 9th inning guys. Just about every team has them. That 7th inning guy, if you find one that's unhittable, then you're the Kansas City Royals.
Well, when Pinella had those 3 left-handers out there in the bullpen in Seattle, everything was a 6-inning game there. That was one of the first teams to play 6-inning games.
Same thing with Lou's team in Cincinnati.
With the Nasty Boys.
Yeah.
That is high and deep. Way back. He looks up. You can put it on the ball. Yeah. His second home run in the Sox uniform, first at home, and it's a 5-1 ball game.
The no-hitter, the shutout, and a 5-run lead all go by the boards on one swing of the bat from Todd Frazier. Jose Ramirez goes back to the wall as we look at the Ford home run replay. That one, a high fastball, had a good portion of the plate, and it was way back over the bullpen.
Well, that has more significance, especially in a 5-1 deficit, so to speak, than most of them. Only because of the fact now Cleveland's getting to see our ball club with Todd Frazier behind Abreu for the first time.
And also, you got a pitcher with 1 out in the 4th who has 67 pitches.
So Melky is retired. Yeah, but that perception, everything is perception in this game. And when the last couple of years, Cleveland knew they got Abreu out, they had a good chance to beat us. Here's Avi. He walked.
They're playing him a couple of steps to right center field, the big gap in left center. That a very hittable 96 because that one was down.
Billy Wagner, that's the only guy. That's a good call by Chris Campbell. What was he, 5'10"?
I think 5'10", maybe on a good day if somebody was stretching him. Maybe he was 5'8", 5'9", but boy, he had a cannon for an arm, and when Houston first drafted him, they toyed with the idea of making him a starter. In fact, probably started a bit in the minor leagues, then realized he had deception as well as great velocity.
Gets him, but the home run by Todd Frazier. We're into the 5th, trailing by 4. Yeah, they got
Viewers watching on RCN.
And Todd Frazier with his second home run. Of course, with that home run by Todd, another donation. Another from a terrific human being, Alex Snellius. In loving memory of Ursula. Or what a guy he is. I understand they had a nice piece in the paper about him not too long ago. Rajay strikeout and a triple.
John certainly has settled down. He gave 3 in the first inning. Probably only 1 should have scored. He gave up 2 in the second inning. And since then he's retired 8 straight. Now it's up to the offense to come back against Danny Salazar in the bullpen. That one floats in over the inside part of the plate as John took a little something off. And Bill Miller says no. He didn't swing. Good call by the crew chief, Bill Miller. Chilly day down on the field. Still says 43 degrees on the scoreboard, but I think that's an effort to make our fans feel warmer.
Well, if it is, it's not working. He gone. 1 out.
Second time in 3 at-bats that John has been able to get Davis looking. He's probably guessing a straight change. He gets a fastball right down the middle and takes a seat.
There's Kipnis. A single, a run scored, and a sacrifice fly. First pitch strike.
Jason had a big bounce back year last year after a very tough year the year before. Kipnis hit .303 last year, .326 lifetime in this ballpark. And he had a base hit and a sacrifice fly in his 2 at-bats today.
Right field. Adam. 2 down.
Pass along get well wishes to a great Sox fan living out in Cleveland, Ohio, much to the dismay of his Cleveland Indian friends. It's Robbie Helfgott. Talked with Sandy Alomar about Francisco Lindor, and he said the young man has a prolific work ethic. That's one of the reasons why he's very good now. One of the reasons why he will be considerably better as time moves along. He's going to hit a lot of home runs in this league.
There's a strike.
Sandy, the longtime first base coach of the Cleveland Indians, a candidate perennially for managerial opening.
He will get there. We've been saying that a long time, but there's a bullet off the bat of Lindor for his second hit. Sandy will get there.
He knows the game backwards and forwards, and as all of you know, because we talk about it a lot, it seems like for whatever reason catchers make the best managers.
Well, you know, they handle pitchers their whole careers, catchers. And knowing baseball, you got managers, sure there are a few that maybe know. A better way to frame it would be that can instruct better than others about the game of baseball. But they're not, the good managers don't know more about baseball than the rest of the managers. What they do know a little bit more about is how to handle people.
And catcher is the only position where you have the game entirely in front of you. You can take a look at outfield routes, getting to the ball. You certainly know and have to know what each of your pitchers does. You have to know what each of the hitters does from the opposition. And you have to know how to hit yourself, or you're not going to stay around all that long.
Well, look at Franco. He's had 11 consecutive winning seasons.
81 and 80 last year, just barely made it, but he made it.
He made it.
Yeah.
11 consecutive. And sure, he had some good ball clubs, but he also had some bad ball clubs. And that is handling people. X's and O's in football are very important. X's and O's in basketball are very important. That's into short left field, so Lindor into third on a bullet off the bat of Napoli.
This is a one-hop rocket, and it does go as a base hit. So the first hit of the day for Napoli, who drew a walk, scored a run in the first inning.
Now, 2 out, runners at the corners, but X's and O's, and X's and O's in hockey are important. X's and O's in baseball, they don't mean hardly anything. It's getting the guys to play. Today, the game of baseball has been, we got people in the stands here that can, from a running a game standpoint, could run a game, but they can't handle the people.
Well, in talking with Joe Madden, fine manager of the Cubs, he was talking about his minor league experience, and he talked about not really learning about when to bunt, when to hit and run, all that stuff. That's easy.
Right,
that's what
that's
we're talking
easy.
about. That's an easy part for a manager. He said handling emotions at various times for players, and knowing that you've seen this before and have a pretty good idea about how to approach it. He said he made a very bad mistake with a player, not because he went to him to correct something, but because of the language that he used and the way he approached it. He said he apologized to the guy the next day, and it never happened again because he had been through it in the minor leagues.
And there's a sharp single right back through the middle by Santana. So it is a 6-1 ball game.
Santana with his second run batted in, his 5th of the year. And with 2 outs and nobody on, the Lindor base hit, the Napoli base hit, the Santana base hit. And once again, 5 runs down. Here comes Don Cooper, as the bullpen will start to work for the first time today.
Well, this is Santana's birthday, as we mentioned, his first at bat. This is his 6th birthday game. He has 3 homers and 8 RBIs on his birthday.
Well, hopefully tomorrow will contain him a little bit better than today. Dan Jennings starts to loosen up in the pen.
Some of the managing techniques today are certainly different than they were in years past.
There's no doubt about that.
I mean,
many more explanations today.
in years past, they used to go locker to locker after. I mean, locker to locker, face to face. And some of it was very ugly. Jan Gomes, sacrifice fly and a pop up to left. That ball hit hard. Here comes another one. And it's 7-1.
Second run batted in for Gomes, giving him 3 for the year. He had a sacrifice fly in the first inning, and this time he takes what looked like a cutter, but John didn't get inside quite enough and drills it in the left.
Seven runs on 8 hits, no errors, 1 run on 1 hit, and 1 big error for us. Managers just don't have today. It's tougher to manage than it's ever been, without question. Not even close. They don't have some of the luxuries managers in the past had. In the past, when I first came to the big leagues, manager was the highest paid guy on the club.
There's a couple clubs where he's making good money, but the highest paid?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And then the one big luxury they had back in those days that they don't have hardly at all today is they had control of the lineup card. Today that's almost a gone dinosaur. Another area that they don't have control of today is, especially with young pitchers, that they had the luxury of working them in out of the bullpen a lot of times to put them in a chance to succeed in that ball game, particular ball game, to have some success so they could build on it.
Baltimore did that for years.
And that's why they were so good. And that's gone.
And guys, with the scarcity of talent, a guy who can really throw, he'll come right up in the rotation. As we've seen, when Chris Sale was in the bullpen for a bit, not too long, then in the rotation to stay. Carlos Rodon came up in the rotation. A very good chance that we're going to see Carson Fulmer. We don't know when, but when we do see him, it'll undoubtedly be in the rotation, you would think.
Just did get a piece of that one. Marlin 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, both called.
And the snow flurries. Gently wafting their way down.
Well, if it's going to come, let it come in a hurry.
I would say I'm pretty sure they should call this one now. I don't know how they can play in these conditions. That's 104 pitches for John.
The 1-2. That's popped up into it. Could be a little bit of a trouble. Oh, Brett, over the shoulder. Nice catch. But a couple more across the plate. 7. All right, Chuck, thank you very much, buddy, as we get set to go to our half of the 5th inning. Trailing by 6. Brad Laurie takes ball 1. Well, we scored in that final game yesterday in Oakland. Scored 4 runs in the top of the 9th on 6 hits. Let's get some continuation hitting going here.
Snow keeps coming down, but better than a cold rain, I believe.
That's popped up right side. Goodness.
Sox fans, our pregame patio parties are the best deal at the ballpark. Patio tickets are all inclusive with the purchase. You receive a game ticket, and you can enjoy an all-you-can-eat buffet catered by Baseball Buffet, as well as wine and Miller beverages. The patio opens 90 minutes prior to the game and closes 30 minutes after the start of the game. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/group.
Here's Alex. Going to play one time, he walked. Another area that a little different in the culture of this game. Years past, you get a day like this where snowing, you got a 7-1 ball game, bottom of the 5th inning. When you walk that plate, those umpires are going to say, "Hawk, swing the bat." They can't do that anymore.
No, you can kind of understand that as Alex goes down on strike, so quickly 2 up, 2 down.
They didn't even hesitate. You weren't even in the box. Hawk, swing the bat. It's cold. Let's get out of here. But it was the same for both sides. Austin Jackson hit a high, towering fly ball into medium deep right center field.
That ball hit hard, but foul up the first base side.
Hey, he was just underneath that first one. Just a hair target. Just underneath that one. Yeah, this guy is going to be a welcome addition to this ball club. First of all, he's used to winning.
You can also go get him alley to alley in center field, and that will mean rotation system with the designated hitter and the outfield all around it.
Well, when you got a center field like Austin Jackson, as I said yesterday, it just takes a lot of heat off the left fielder and the right fielder. Gives him an opportunity to cover a little more ground towards the line on both sides. Baltimore always had that for a long time. They had a center fielder named Paul Blair. Tremendous range in the outfield. Little into center field. And of course the Yankees and their heyday and all those wonderful years there when they had a center fielder to get outrun anybody in baseball, Mickey Mantle.
Baltimore center fielder these days is pretty good.
You better believe it.
Adam Jones.
Adam Jones can go get them, and everybody is getting better. I mean, why wouldn't they be? Every other sport's getting bigger, stronger, and faster, and better. Lorenzo Cain in Kansas City can put a clinic on out there as well. Now we got a guy that can put a clinic on out there.
And a very good time for Adam to come through with his first hit after a couple of strikeouts. The Indians came through with 4 hits with 2 outs and nobody on last inning, so our boys have seen that it can be done.
First 2 at bats, you should know about what Danny's got. He saw 16 pitches in his first 2 at bats. It didn't help. Shows you that Salazar can get it by you. That ball hit in the center field. He did not read it. Rajay Davis now boy, he recoups, recovers, and makes a tremendous catch after not picking up the ball. And that'll retire the side. What a play by Davis.
Sox face the Minnesota Twins on Saturday, May 7th. First 20,000 fans will receive a Chris Sale K-Counter bobblehead presented by Wintrust Community Banks. Visit WhiteSox.com to purchase your tickets today. And we've got a new pitcher coming in the ball game, and it is Dan Jennings. So Jennings last year, 2-3 is ERA, a touch under 4. He's not called on to save any ball games, and he inherits a 6-run deficit, and he'd love to hold it right there.
Here's Juan Uribe. 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts by Danks. Takes first pitch strike.
And for Johnny Danks, 5 innings, 7 runs, 6 of them earned on 8 hits with a walk and 6 strikeouts.
Here's a guy that illustrates what you and I were talking about a couple innings ago. He could just absolutely, I mean, you can get so exasperated with it offensively. Then all of a sudden you get the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning against a good pitcher, And he's liable to hit one 440 feet out there.
Well, he does have one swing. It'll be in different places, but it'll be just one swing, and that's trying to do some damage each and every time out.
And you know, one of the things too, very seldom you'll ever see a guy, when he was with us, there was not a better third baseman in the American League. When he played short, there was not a better shortstop in the American League. And when he played second, there was not a better second baseman than he was in the American League. Got him.
Time now for Xfinity high-speed action replay, and this is called makeup speed. Ajay Davis didn't see the ball off the bat. By the time he did, he was fast enough to be able to go back and make the catch. That saved a run and a possible either triple or inside the park home run, because a step in and lack of ability to see the baseball still turned into a great catch.
Boy, the Cubs got some bad news.
Yeah, Kyle Schwarber hurt himself in a collision, and unfortunately for them, the young man with the great power is going to be lost
for the year.
It's amazing. And one of the things you have to say, and I was talking about it with Terry Francona, you have to have a caveat with every time you project what the team is going to do, and that is the health factor, because very few teams are deep enough to be able to sustain many key injuries to really good players. Now, the Cubs are one of those teams that have an awful lot of talent. It's going to be put to the test, but losing a powerful left-hand hitter like Schwarber is really a big blow to them.
On average. What year did you retire?
I retired in 1982.
82. All right, I retired in 70. Let's just go back to 90. Okay. On average, percentage-wise, scale of 1 to 10, so we can define it a little better. DL days by a ball club.
Well, that's, you know, have risen, let's say, propitiously since the advent of multi-year contracts. However, an injury like the Schwarber, and you know, that's a different color.
No, there's no question. But I'm talking about DL days.
Oh yeah.
From 90 up until now. Last 26 years, say 25 years. It's been unbelievable.
No, but our ball club under Herm Schneider and his staff kept that to a minimum. Boy, they do a great job down there getting players ready to go on a daily basis, because it's not easy. This is a tough game, and it wears on you over the course of 162.
Well, Herm Schneider, Brian Ball, as he gets it, they have saved this organization millions of dollars as compared to others over the years.
on Friday, April 22nd at 7:10. First 20,000 fans in attendance will receive a White Sox tote bag presented by the MLB Network. Be sure to stay after the game for a post-game fireworks show presented by the aforementioned MLB Network. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Seven runs, 8 hits, no errors for their guys. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error for our guys. One of our 2 hits, a home run by Todd Frazier. So here's Jimmy Rollins, Abreu on deck, and Frazier in the hole. Rollins has grounded to short and to first. Rollins with a really nice spring. 353, 4 homers, 13 knocked in, and wins game 2 for us in Oakland with that home run in the 9th inning.
And then Tyler Saladino getting an opportunity to start his first game, came through with a couple of hits and a run batted in yesterday's game. So it looks like whatever the system is going to be at shortstop, it is going to be well manned.
Well, Tyler's in today's game, when you're carrying 13 pitchers as he gets him, is invaluable. He can play third, he can play short, he can play second. They had him at first yesterday for an inning. So here's Jose. He has struck out and grounded out 1 to 3.
7 strikeouts for Danny Salazar.
Jose jammed himself right there. Got him. He wasn't.
No, he wasn't trying to hit him. This
Nope.
is a looks like a slider or a cutter. Just drifts inside and hits him just above the left elbow.
Yeah, that's a backup slider.
Doesn't feel any better, but at least it's not a fastball.
So here's Todd, and here's what he did in the 4th inning.
First hit. And that one went way back. So Terry Francona going to the mound. And that is going to be it, as Salazar got under one. No sense in taking any liberties with a great young arm. So as Salazar walks out, we'll step out and be back after these messages. It's as low as $5 in the upper level, $15 in the lower level, and special kid-focused activities throughout the ballpark. Plus, parking is available for only $10. So visit whitesox.com/Sundays to purchase your tickets today. And we've got a brand new pitcher coming in the game. It is Jeff Manship. He threw on Tuesday versus the Red Sox, an inning of work, walked a couple, didn't give up any runs, and he was originally drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks, but chose to go to Notre Dame instead, where he roomed with Jeff Samardzija.
So here's Todd. I already showed you that home run in the fourth. He also, his first at bat, led off the second with a ground ball to short.
Manship last year out of the bullpen for the Tribe was pretty good. ERA .92 in 32 appearances. So he spent some of the year in AAA. He did very well in the bigs. You might remember him with the Minnesota Twins. They used him on occasion as a starter.
Yeah, when he was with them, we had some pretty good success against him.
He seems to have found a home out of the bullpen, however, as guys usually will. They seem to be able to throw the ball a few miles an hour faster than they did as a starter.
There's the strike.
Manship originally drafted by the Twins after turning down the Diamondbacks. 14th round pick. That was in 2006. Granted his free agency in 2012. And with the Rockies, the Phillies, and now with the Tribe.
And there's ball four, so 1 out, 2 on. And here comes Melky.
Trying to pick up a few here. You don't need them all at once. Still, pretty good ways to go in this one. Get 11 outs to cover as Salazar departs his ball game at the 5 1/3 inning mark with 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, only a couple of hits. And his responsibility is Abreu out at second. That one way off the plate.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not a good call at all. Tell you, that 4-game series we had in Oakland. Very seldom you see a 4-game series that well umpired. I mean, that's the one you could put in the time capsule right there. Even the game we lost. Beautifully called.
And Trevor Bauer continues to loosen the pen. A lot of people thought he would make the starting rotation. That wasn't the case as he moved him into the pen.
Uh-oh. Rack him. No, they missed him. And now they get him. Smart play right there by Napoli. He missed the bag, Melky did, and instead of going to try to tag him, he just tagged the bag. So that'll retire the side.
Rick Renteria on the phone. Alan wants to know exactly what's happening. We're out.
calling these games?
It's been crazy. Today has been crazy. Just walking around the concourse, this is the first time anybody has ever noticed anything I'm doing on the concourse in this ballpark. So it's been wild.
I've already seen you out there taking some selfies. You already have a good group of fans with you. When did you know this is what you wanted to do, and what was that call like, getting the call from the White Sox saying that they were interested in you?
Well, first of all, my parents, Rob and Sue here, listened to me doing play-by-play of video games through my bedroom door for a long time, so they endured that successfully. But when Bob Grimm called me and said that I was going to be doing the games, it was surreal. I mean, it was crazy. I still don't really believe that it's happened.
Now, did you think this was possible? When you were in your bedroom calling those games via video game, did you ever think this was possible?
Anything when you're a kid, and then you grow up and you don't anymore. You don't think that logically there's any chance, probability-wise, that it's going to happen. And it's just so out there.
Now I want to bring in your parents, Rob and Sue. I hear this is your television debut.
Yes, it is.
Okay, no need to be nervous. How proud are you of your son right now?
Oh my God, extremely. Don't make me cry. Just so proud.
Mommy.
He's the best.
When was it? What age was it? Or when did he come to you and say, I want to be a baseball play-by-play announcer. I know this is what I want to do with the rest of my life.
Oh, he started basically doing stuff in high school at HF. And we knew he really liked it, but when did you actually?
I think it was then. Yeah. I don't have to answer all the questions, though, do I?
Was there a particular moment where you realized, oh my gosh, he's really talented?
Yeah, we early on in his career at Syracuse, you could really tell that he was developing quickly and really kind of developing his own style, and it showed through.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They're parents. They're supposed to say that, right? I was not that good at college. I mean, it's a developmental thing. So I've got to say, if everybody had parents like these two people, it would be very easy to chase your dreams.
Now I see you guys are getting emotional. What does it mean to you to see your son accomplish and fulfill his dreams?
It's just amazing. I just can't believe all he's done.
It's rewarding. It's overwhelming. It's exciting. I guess we're kind of speechless. Yeah, we're extremely proud. We're most proud of how hard he's worked to get to where he's got to. It's been impressive. He's been my role model since he was in grade school.
Well, thank you all for joining me and with us for 81 games, and we're looking forward to it. And I expect
they will too. Aren't they cute?
Yes, Rob, Sue, we'll have you back on again. All right, guys, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, Sierra, thank you very much, and certainly our congratulations and best wishes to a young man who has succeeded over some adversity. There's no question about that, and he is going to be in this booth for home games for a long time.
And very proud parents, as you would expect.
And he is a very good announcer.
Yes, he is.
I mean, when I first saw him, Bob Grimm first gave me the tapes to look at him, and I saw him, and I saw some on YouTube. I'll tell you what, he knows what he's doing, and he knows he can do it. That's what I like about him. He gone. Kipnis, one out. Yeah, Jason's going to be just terrific. Our fans will enjoy him for a long time. Here's Lindor. He's 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Now field straight up. Spaced about equidistant.
First outing of the year for Dan Jennings, and he sent down 4 in a row. 2 of them on strikeouts.
If you're just tuning in, They scored 3 in the top of the first. We gave them 2 of those 3 with an error. They added 2 in the second, 2 in the fifth. Of course, Todd Frazier's homer in the fourth. The only tally for our guys. Two down.
Now 5 in a row with 3 strikeouts. So Jennings throws the ball very well in this his initial outing of 2016.
Well, there's no doubt about the stuff. He's got good stuff. But you got to get that good stuff over the plate. As here's Napoli. A walk-up run scored in the first. He went out deep to right in the third, and he singled and scored in the fifth. Napoli, a dangerous man at that plate. A good mistake hitter. Make decent pitches on him, you get it. Make a mistake. Two balls and a strike. And the count 3-1.
Napoli's been around with the Angels from 2006 through 10. Texas for a couple of years. Boston for a couple of years, and back to Texas, and now with the Indians.
Nice pick by Abreu. And that's a nice 1, 2, 3 inning, 7th inning stretch. Not good.
On Blacklist for exclusive club content all year long, including ticket offers, breaking news, special event invites, and more. Visit whitesox.com/blacklist to register today. And we got a new pitcher coming in the game, and it is former starter Trevor Bauer. As you can see, he had some problems last time out against the Red Sox. Gave up a couple of runs in 1 inning. And for a guy who's primarily been a starter his entire career, it's not all that easy to start working out of the bullpen.
Well, he's got the stuff if he's healthy. He's got good stuff. Avi has walked and struck out. 7-1 Indians here in game 1 of this 3-game set. Sox will play tomorrow and Sunday. Then after the game on Sunday, head on up to Minneapolis. 3 games in 4 days. And go down to Tampa Bay.
For the Twins, that'll be their home opener. Bauer last year 11-12, almost exclusively a starter. ERA a little above 4.5. Control of problems, 79 walks in 176 innings.
Well, there you go. We talked earlier about, a lot of guys got good stuff.
Well, there were a lot of teams that came to Cleveland when they found that Bauer was not in the starting rotation and entertained the idea of trading for him. And it could be that might be something down the road. Right now they like him out of the bullpen.
Well, there are a lot of teams that love to have Trevor Bauer.
There is a lot of teams.
1 out.
Kind of day it's been, and not a whole lot to cheer about.
Here's Laurie. 0 for 2. Now Bill playing him around to the right. Tomorrow, Chris Sale on the bumps will make your plans to be with us here at U.S. Cellular Field. Cody Anderson will be his opponent. If he can't make it, that game will be over WGN. And on Sunday, Jose Quintana against Josh Tomlin. And that game right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. One and 2 the count. That is popped up. And this week only, T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment of America's fastest-growing LTE network. Lindor. Bauer with an easy inning, and we're into the 8th.
Park, and if you choose, you can get a Hooters chicken sandwich. Very good. Personally, I usually go for the wings. But there it is. You get your choice of sauces. You can't beat it.
So here's Santana. Santana, 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. .43 degrees, they say. Here in the top of the 8th. 7-8-0 for them, 1-2-1 for us.
At 43 has been up there from the start of the game till now. I would think that would be a little overly optimistic.
I think it's stuck.
It's frozen at 43.
Popped up, short right. Adam will take the heat off, make the catch, 1 down.
Adam came on, kind of skidded, but was able to right the ship and make the catch. So Jennings continues to throw the ball exceptionally well, retiring all 7 he's faced, 3 of them by strikeouts.
Don Gomes takes first pitch strike. As I mentioned, Dan has good stuff. He's not overpowering, but he has good stuff. He has good movement. And when he gets the off-speed pitch up, puts another 5 or 6 inches on that fastball, then it becomes good, real good.
Now his stuff today looks exceptionally good. And assuming that he is going to throw this way, and this is his 2nd year as a member of the Sox bullpen, gives him a couple of very strong weapons from the left side with Zach Duke along with Jennings.
Well, when he came back from being ouchie last year, he had good stuff.
Yeah.
Two down.
Follow White Sox Baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. You can say up to the minute, any minute, with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
That'll bring up Marlon Byrd. Marlon 0 for 3 on the afternoon. There's a shot base hit. So he'll make the turn going into second base. Breaks a string of 8 in a row retired by Jennings.
The new look Indians, with the addition of a few guys to their lineup, all contributed today. Davis with an RBI triple in the 2nd. Napoli with 2 runs scored on a walk and a single, his single coming in the 5th, and now Byrd with a double here in the 8th.
Well, Bird's just been a good, solid player
for quite some time, and now he will depart, and Colin Cowgill will come in the game.
Todd's got him. And that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We need a whole bunch. All right, our Chuck, thank you very much. You better believe that's a big hurt right there for them. Austin Jackson to lead it off. Trevor Bauer. Bohr's first pitch strike over. Some changes for the Tribe in the outfield. Rajay Davis moves from center to left. Naquin moves into center. And Cowgill in right. Tyler.
Naquin had a very good spring, and he made the ball club as Zach Putnam starts throwing in the pen after a fine job by Dan Jennings.
Adam, last time up, hit a deep fly ball in the center field that Rajay Davis did not pick up off the bat. All of a sudden, he picked it up, recovered, went back, and made a terrific catch. And here comes Davis again. He's got him this time easily. And Sunday afternoon, join us for the finale of this three-game set as Jose Quintana makes his 2016 U.S. Cellular Field debut against the Tribe. Starting at 12:30 with White Sox pregame live, presented by the Koalas family of dealerships on CSN.
That's the Biggers Pizza area, and you saw the brand new Italian beef Biggers Pizza. You can't beat that.
I love good pizza. I love good cheese pizza. Beggars makes some great cheese pizza. What they do differently, but something's different about it. Tastes so good. Jimmy takes a strike. He's 0 for 3 this afternoon. Couple of ground outs and a strikeout.
Well, there is no doubt if Trevor Bauer gets the ball over the plate consistently, he can win a lot of games in the major leagues.
Well, that's another quick 1-2-3 inning for him. He's retired all 6 with a couple of strikeouts.
It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moment. And it came off the bat of Todd Frazier. The first home run he's hit in a Sox uniform at U.S. Cellular Field. It was a no-doubter. And that's been it. The only run that the Sox have scored. One of 2 hits as Jerry Sands takes over in left field. Zach Putnam comes in the game. That's what he did yesterday in 1 inning of work.
So here is Ramirez. The AT Alan Thomas, our strength and conditioning guy, told me Jerry Sands is super strong. He's a big guy. Had a good spring.
It was a good battle between Sands and Ishikawa.
Yeah, they both had real good springs.
Tri-pen, Dan Otero. After a fine outing by Trevor Bauer. So it's been Salazar, Manship, and Bauer. Manship for just 2/3 of an inning. Salazar, the pitcher of record, 5 1/3 with just 1 run on 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, and 3 walks.
Rajay fouls it away. Rajay is 1 for 4 with a triple and a run scored.
That one almost got a piece of him. And he lost him.
Just the second walk issued by Sox pitching this afternoon. Just joining in, Indians scored 3 in the first. We gave them 2 of those 3. They scored 2 in the second, 2 in the fifth. Home run by Frazier coming in the fourth. Kipnis 1 for 3, a run scored and a sacrifice fly. All right, take your time. You got plenty of it. And rack them up. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It's big bats. Pat Boyle, Pat Boyle and Steve Conroy preview the upcoming playoff push for our Chicago Blackhawks. Sportsnet Central Blackhawks player preview. Tuesday at 10:30, right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
A new pitcher coming in for the Tribe, and it's Dan Otero. Last year, 2-4. The ERA wasn't particularly good. And the Tribe, by and large, has got a pretty good bullpen, especially at the back end. Today, they got a very good performance, albeit a short one, from Jeff Manship. An outstanding performance from Trevor Bauer. And Dan Otero comes on.
Here's Abreu. Takes first pitch strike. They 0 for 2, and he was hit by a pitch, unintentional, like a backup slider from Salazar.
And the flurries are starting to flurry again.
Well, from the word that we had yesterday and the day before, we are very fortunate to get this game in. One of the options would have been a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 1 and 7. And neither club wanted to do that.
No, not the split doubleheader.
But I think that maybe that was just one of the options. The other option would have been to have a doubleheader in May. That's into right field. One down. So here's Todd. 1 for 2 without homer, his second of the season. And that's in the center field. Tied 2 for 3.
Drew a walk also, and he hits it through the snowflakes. Just reaches out, takes it right back up the middle. Only the third of the Sox hits today. The only other man to hit safely, Austin Jackson, singled in the 5th inning. Jerry Sands gets an AB.
Against his former mates. Takes a strike. Wearing a pretty famous number right there. Greatest pitchers that ever lived. Down ball. And they turn it, and this ball game is over. And that famous pitcher was Tom Seaver. So Sox came in 3-1 off that 4-game series, and
no, not a particularly good game for Johnny Danks. He had a problem early. 5 innings, 7 runs on 8 hits.